We'd like you to tell us a little bit about when you were a child. When were you born?
November 27th, 1896,
Oh, where was this?
in Byrne, Minnesota, Big Stone County.
Oh, can you tell us a little bit about what your house was like and what life was like in those days?
Oh, the one I was born in. It was a 5-room house. What happened?
Was it a painted house or a
No
cardboard
paint.
house?
No, the houses weren't painted in those days.
Oh.
Just bare boards.
Well, how did you keep things cold, like when you cooked, and keep things from spoiling?
Well, we used a cistern to hang the milk and cheese down in. At our place, we had a root cellar.
Oh.
In the bank, we kept our milk and cream, churned our butter.
What kind of things did your father have? A regular farm?
We had 546
Animals?
in the land.
Oh.
Everything, dairy, grain farming.
So what did you do to help out on the farm?
Well, I wasn't very old, but I herd cows, milk cows, work in the garden.
Did your mother have any conveniences, like, of course you didn't have electricity in those days.
No.
How did you wash your clothes?
Well, first of all, on the washboard, a big tub in the washboard, and then with the wash machine.
Well, you mean you had a washboard? What did you do with big things? You couldn't rub, like, sheets by hand, could you?
Sheets, we only had sheets went that way, but quilts we had to put that in a pan of water, and then we tramped it. The skids tramped the dirt out.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It was for a skid, sure.
And then you did a lot of canning, I suppose, because they didn't have frozen things.
You know, sauerkraut, meat was canned. Vegetables, no. There was no canning of vegetables, I remember all. There was no such a thing then.
There wasn't
I don't
canning?
think we even had fruit jars.
You didn't? Well, how did you keep vegetables for winter then?
Down in the
On the root cellar.
in the root cellar.
Oh. Tell us something about your mother and father.
What do I know about them?
Well, where did they come? Where did your father and mother come from?
Mother was born in Minnesota. Dad came over from Ireland when he was 12 years old. As a storage ship in a
Well,
ship.
did his whole family come with him?
No, it came along. His mother bribed somebody, paid it some young fellow to hide him in the boat coming over. Then he was met in New York City by his 2 sisters who were already over here.
Boy, that was quite an adventure for a 12-year-old child. And how many children were there in the family?
We had 10 children.
10. Can you remember their names?
Yeah, do you want me to name them?
Uh-huh.
All right, there was William, then May, Victor, Anne, myself, Marie, Blanche, Clarence, or Patty as he was called, and Alice, and James.
And are some of those still living besides you?
Just Alice.
Oh. Then how long did you live on the farm? Did you live on that farm for a long time?
We were there until I went to high school. Then we moved into town.
Did you have are there relatives around, like grandparents? And
Yeah, my grandparents lived out across the Big Lake from our place.
Then you went to high school in
Graceville.
Graceville. And then what happened after that?
And, well, I took normal training in with my senior year, and then I went teaching for 2 years.
Oh, where did you teach?
First school was at Benson, the second one was in Chippewa County.
Oh, did you like teaching?
Well, I liked a lot of things better.
It was probably kind of hard.
There were so few children in the school. The first one only had 8 students, and that was not very exciting.
So what did you do? Have to walk to school? And
I walked to school. Walked home from dinner the first year.
well, how did people get around then?
Horse and buggy.
Horse and buggy in the wintertime too?
On sleigh.
A sleigh. Well, that sounds like fun too. So how did you meet Grandpa?
He came over to a place where I was boarding.
And it was love at first sight, huh?
No, I don't think so.
What did you do for fun in those days?
Barn dances.
Went to barn dances? Did you have
Barn dances, they were
socials
fun.
at school and things too?
Yeah.
And Grandpa came from Iowa, you said?
No, he was born over here in Fonda, Iowa.
Oh, in Iowa. And then he moved to Minnesota?
That means my grandpa or your grandpa?
I met your husband.
Yeah. Fonda, Iowa.
Uh-huh.
His father came over from Iowa. His mother was born in Jackson County.
And then when did you get married?
January the 26th, 1896.
Can you tell us something about the wedding? Where it was?
Just a common wedding in the wintertime and visit dinner. I had breakfast and took the train back to where we were going to live.
What'd your wedding dress look like?
White satin.
All white with a veil?
I did have that picture on here, but no, I did not. Full-length picture.
So, maybe we'd like to know how people dressed in those days.
Well, we had button shoes, and the dresses were up to the shoe top. Otherwise, we didn't wear men's clothing, though. That's one thing we didn't wear.
No slacks.
No slacks.
What happened to the buttons came off the shoes?
Sewed them on again.
Sewed them on again. We had a button hooker?
Yeah, sure. I had a button hook to
Oh,
button
that
them
sounds like you have to get up a little earlier.
Oh, it didn't take no time.
So, then you went on the train down to DeGraff?
Down to DeGraff, Minnesota.
He had a farm there? Or
yeah, lived near DeGraff the first years.
So what happened? Was anything exciting there?
Oh, you're after the shivaree.
Yeah.
Yeah, shivaree that night. And the guys climbed in through the window and we blacked their faces.
Did they bring food and everything? We danced?
They didn't bring no food. They had our own food.
Didn't stay long.
I just wonder what their sheets looked like when they went home.
And who's your bridesmaid?
My sister Ann.
Oh, and who's
and Ben's twin brother Clem.
Oh. So, then you moved to the farm and, oops, are you cutting it off?
Oh,
Because I was running out of material.
Well, you're doing pretty good. It sounds like you did that
no,
before.
I can't get it off.
I forgot the part about the Indians.
I can't get it off.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's the Indian.
Dudes.
When I was a kid growing up, there was no bathing suits.
No bathing. What'd you do? And did you ever go swimming?
No, there was no place to go swimming.
Oh.
Only in that one school that we went in that time.
Oh.
Then we just went in our panties.
Well, then you moved down to DeGraff, and did you still go on horse and buggy? You didn't have a car?
We had a sleigh.
You had a sleigh. And then in the
In the
summertime you
wintertime,
had a car.
buggy.
What was your first car like?
A Ford.
Was a Ford?
Well, Tin Lizzie, they
A
called
Tin
it.
Lizzie? The kind with the curtains on it?
Yep.
And how fast did it go? Not too fast.
All crawled.
Did you have to crank it?
Yeah, sure.
So what happened if you went out at night? Did you have to be home by dark?
When we were kids, we weren't out after dark.
No.
And when we got older, old enough to go to dances, 12 o'clock.
It was a signal to get home.
We had to be home.
So, so you didn't have bathing suits. Well, did you wear makeup?
No, we didn't wear no makeup. If God wanted us to look like that, and He put it on us in the beginning. I'd say.
So, tell us about, you didn't have radios or telephones or anything?
No, not when I was a child growing up. We had no telephone.
How about after you were married?
Then we had an old one on the wall and crank it.
Crank telephone?
Everybody could listen to what you said.
Party line?
Party line.
Or did everybody run and listen to when the
Oh, I
single-
imagine you could hear the thing go click, click.
You see, that's
somebody
so.
was rubbing.
Oh, you could.
Oh, sure, you could have the rubber in there.
So you had to be careful what you said, who you talked about.
Yeah.
What do you mean by rubbering?
Listening.
That's what they call rubbering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like they had, in the little house on the prairie there. They had old Mrs. Olson where she was running the telephone, and she was listening to what the people said instead of cutting herself
Oh,
off.
sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. See. So what were the highlights of your year? Was
The highlights
Besides-
during the Depression.
during the depression? Well, tell us about the depression.
Yeah. We had no crops for 2 years. Third year we had a little bit, enough to get some straw. And that's all we had. We got help from the government. We had to pay it all back. I think that's
So that there wasn't any cash money. In other words,
no.
and you just had
no
the
cash.
garden to depend on. So what did you do for clothes and things?
Oh, well, we had to make them all.
Made them all.
Made them out of flour sacks. Some people did.
So the only thing you really had to buy then was
Never had a
shoes.
button dress when I was a kid growing up. We used to, in the wintertime, we'd wear a flannel dress underneath, and we'd wear aprons like they do in the little house on the prairie. That's what we had.
There weren't any Indians around in those days, were there? Only when you were a child?
Before my time there was, yes. We used to come there to the house, and Mother would give them some nice hot bread with butter on it. They'd eat it and go again.
Huh.
Go to the next house, see what they find there.
Oh, well then you tell us about your children.
Well, we had 10 children. All the remember what I said about them. There was
Did you have the children at home? All of your children?
three girls and 7 boys. All had them at home. Never was in the hospital with them.
The doctor came out?
No, always came out, horse and buggy. Everyone. Even Joey, come out in the blizzard. He had to come out in the
How much did they charge you for that in those days when they had to come so far?
$25.
$25? Was there anything exciting happened during the time when the children were growing up? Then you moved up after the Depression, and you moved up to Kirkhoven?
When we moved up to Kirkhoven. That was the Depression years.
And,
The 30s then.
Is that where Joe was so sick? When you lived
No.
in Kirkhoven?
No.
And then you moved to
Down
Millerville?
to the home place. Moved back to the home place then,
Mm-hmm.
on his mother's farm.
Let's see. Can't remember it. Nothing exciting happened during that time?
No, I wouldn't say so.
So how long did you live down in the home place?
Let's see. I figured out. Bill was born down there.
And was Joe?
All the rest under Bill.
So when you had the babies at home, did the doctor come out with medications or stuff, or you just suffered?
No, we had chloroform. I don't think I ever had chloroform. No, I didn't. You just don't have take it.
So then you moved from there to Millerville. After Kirkhoven? You moved up to Millerville then. After Kirkhoven, you moved to Millerville.
You should know that too. Then we lived to
It was about
the Miller place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's right, that's where we went from Miller.
so then the depression was starting to get over and things were picking
That's
up.
the last of the Depression.